Aloha and welcome to the Embodied Healing Self podcast with your host, Jen Mons. Each week, join me for soul-inspired, conscious conversations around embodied healing and awakening to your soul's purpose. Thank you for listening in. Aloha, friends and family. Welcome back. I am so grateful that you are tuning in again this week. I have had some pretty amazing interviews recently that I am super psyched to share with you in the upcoming weeks, including Kate Northrup and Josh Trent of the Wellness Force. But I really felt compelled to share with you this week just kind of some insight and light and love and hope when navigating these quickly evolving, uncertain times. So I was actually on vacation in Hawaii when things started to quickly change with the current health situation in the world with this coronavirus. And we were able to make it home a couple of days after things started to really get a little bit more serious. So I have been spending a lot of time in meditation and prayer, really on a global consciousness level as to what is really happening in the world. And I really just wanted to share that perspective with you today. And the reason I think it's so important to do this is because we get to choose our experience. This global pandemic is happening either way, but we get to choose how we walk through this experience and who we spend this experience with and our beliefs about it and what we do to stay empowered and connected will be our experience. More importantly, the message that we share specifically to our children, our clients, the world, whoever is listening, will also inspire their experience. So I invite you to choose very, very wisely. What I see happening right now is that our earth is healing. We are being called to slow down, to spend time in our own homes with our loved ones. Many of my executive clients are working remotely from home. Some of them have reached out to me to take their leadership teams through meditation and reducing stress. Things that we could have been practicing already, but now we are being called to do this. We are being reminded of the importance of staying proactive in our health and well-being. Now, some of us live this daily. I know I do. It's part of why I feel empowered and grateful that I have made those choices. But now we are being reminded of why it's so important. It's really a time for us to come together like we always do. The human spirit is so resilient and so amazing. When we look back at history, all of the events that have occurred, tsunamis, hurricanes, where I live locally, every time there's a hurricane and I volunteer to gather things to send to countries. We did it for Puerto Rico. We recently did it for the Bahamas. So many people are so eager to jump in and help and support. So my message to you is that same love is so important right now, but right now it's going to come through your words and how you choose to show up in this experience. What this experience is showing us is how connected we are. If a virus can travel that quickly around the world, you see how quickly our energy exchanges between people. We are all so connected. The world is actually very small. And what I encourage you to do right now more than ever is to find those resources. Find those people who are standing in clarity and truth and love, not in fear, helping to raise the vibration of the planet, and allow them to guide you and be a part of it and join in with them. Because that is what the planet, the world is asking for right now. Fear is a very low vibration, but very strong vibration. To me, it is responsible for all of the negative emotions that we experience. It is responsible for hate, judgment, resentment, anger, sadness. And on the other side of fear, equally as strong, but at a much higher vibration, is unconditional love. So I had a pretty powerful meditation today, and I wanted to share with you. And as humbling as this is to share, one thing that I know to be true about myself is it is times like this in crisis where I get really clear. I am so clear and so connected that I am so grateful for all of the challenges and experiences and grief and loss and all of the things that I've had to experience to be where I am right now. I say that because I want you to know that it is not easier for any one person than it was somebody else. We all just choose differently. We all have our challenges. We all have loss. We all have things that are hurting us. We have fears and blocks and beliefs. No one is excused from this. This is part of the human experience, but we get to choose how we navigate. And so today, my hope is to inspire you to navigate back to your inner compass, because this is what came through in my meditation. So in today's meditation, who came through is Mary Magdalene and Jesus. And, this is actually quite humbling to even share that this comes through for me. But it is important for me to put aside my fear of being judged around that and just share what is true, because I have a responsibility to do so. So I was shown the picture of being on the top of a ship and navigating the open ocean, and that we are in a time of navigating this ship, which is very interesting to me for in my life, because I'm a former merchant marine. I have sailed around the world on ships for 3 years. I have navigated by the stars. This is all part of my truth. This is all part of my life. And so I am being shown to navigate these open seas like they did hundreds of years ago when they would go to a new land and they didn't know where they were going, that uncertainty. And that is where we are right now, the vastness of the ocean. I put a quote on my Instagram the other day, ironically, before this meditation came through. My husband wrote a song 5 or 6 years ago, and the quote said, "Time is an ocean and our soul is a drop." Our soul is a drop in this vast ocean of uncertainty and unknown. So how are you going to choose your adventure? With fear or with empowerment? Eager to see what happens from the healing and the cleansing of the earth. And one thing that came through for me is this word abundance, which happened to be my word in 2019. But abundance to a lot of people means money. For me, it means contentment, fulfillment. And how important it is to share the message to stay in abundance, because our heart is the source of abundance. And abundance is wellness, connection, love, financial means, food. It is whatever it is that our heart desires that is fulfilled. But when we stay in lack and fear, that creates hysteria. So remember that you get to choose your experience. We're all in the same boat. Literally all in the same boat. We all have the chance to be a carrier or a host to this virus. We all have loved ones that we're worried about. My husband works on ships. He's a harbor pilot. He is bringing in ships from international countries that have been exposed so that you can have your toilet paper and your food and gasoline for your car. And nobody knows that. The risks that people are taking for us to be able to sustain their life. Now, I am not in fear. What the world needs right now is social responsibility. So what I see happening, and I've done Facebook Lives on this, how to stay healthy, how to remain a carrier and not a host. I've done it. I spent years and years in survival mode and health crisis, immune compromised, and so did my daughter. And we were the host of every virus that ever went around. The final straw was the swine flu 5 years ago. And since then, because of the things that we do for our health and well-being, we are now carriers. We don't get the symptoms. We drink green juice, we stay alkaline, we take herbs, we do homeopathy. I've basically got a wellness clinic in my home. I have microcurrent machines, we do energy work. It's been a lot of work for us. We were extremely immune compromised. Most people don't have to do that much, but a couple of tips that you can do to keep your body alkaline is to reduce sugar, reduce dairy, reduce breads, reduce white foods, eat more greens, stay alkaline, reduce any foods that are acidic, especially sugar, reduce stress. The cortisol that is produced is acidic. These are all really important. Your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being are all a part of navigating through times of uncertainty. And specifically this message around our heart being the source of abundance, meaning living in a place of love and trust and hope. Because the heart is resilient. It has I heard the message, it recalls, it actually imprints the resilience of the human spirit, the oneness of all of us. Whereas the mind imprints individuality because our thoughts about the experience are an individual experience. But the heart and what we feel other people. We are all connected. So I really invite you to stay in that and to stay in your heart and turn off the news. Only get what you feel you need and then turn it off. Find yourself an online community right now that will uplift and inspire you. There are several. There are free dance, fitness, and yoga classes and teachers online right now being offered for the community. There are free meditations happening. I know in our Holistic Healthy Lifestyle Facebook group, I am getting on and doing Facebook Lives and educating people on how to stay healthy. We are doing meditations. I am there for the support of the people because it is important for me to raise this vibration, to stand in this clarity, and to create a ripple effect across the world. Because fear and hysteria and viruses are contagious, but so is love, and so is joy and peace. And that is what I want to spend my energy focusing on. Do I have fear? Of course I do. I have a 68-year-old father who just suffered his first stroke and is in heart failure and has had stage 4 cancer and is immune compromised. Of course I'm worried about him. But what good does that do? If I can send him love and and send support and sending positive messages, I find that to be more helpful. Worry and fear and anxiety don't change anything. It does show us that we care, and we can transmute that energy into something positive. The energy that fear holds is so powerful. Imagine standing in that energy and transmuting it to something positive, into passion, into creating positive change in the world. All of the energy that fear holds. Think of how strong it is. Think of how it controls our life. It keeps us from saying yes. It keeps us from doing things. If it can do that, then it can change the world when we transmute it into love. Know that we are not alone, that we are navigating these waters together, and have compassion for people for where they are in their experience. Many of the listeners to this show are at least self-aware to know of the possibilities of life holds. We're probably more proactive in our health and well-being than most. We are self-aware. We are intentional, or we are on the path to be that way. Many people may not be there. It is important for us to have compassion for people for where they are. To judge them and to keep them small does not support their higher purpose or ours. People can only meet us where they are. It is the responsibility of us who live in unconditional love to hold that love and compassion for them and invite them in when they're ready. But if we come into judgment, then we are lowering our vibration. So I really invite you over the next couple of weeks as we navigate through these uncertain times together to stay empowered in your well-being by making healthy food choices. Reduce the sugar, reduce acidic foods, reduce alcohol. experience social distancing from a place of self and social responsibility. It is important out of the respect of the immune compromised and the elderly that we do this. It is not that we are being controlled. It is just out of respect for those people who do not have their health. I've been immune compromised. I have feared for my daughter's life in respiratory distress. I am triggered by this event. Respiratory distress is an extremely uncomfortable thing to witness or be a part of. And nobody should have to suffer that way. So out of respect for the immune compromised, for our friends that are fighting cancer and pneumonia and heart failure, and for the elderly, I invite you to look at this as a chance to heal. Spend time with your kids. Teach them how to bake. Take care of your health and well-being. Reduce your stress. Find some meditation apps online. Join a community. Do movement in your home with your kids. Go to the beach. Get outside. Go in nature. But all of the things that I have been teaching for years are the things that we are now being asked to do, and now people are listening. And so now is the time. And chances are, if you're listening to this podcast, you're some type of healer, whether it's a healer in your family or at work. And the world needs healers right now to share this message, to share the message of hope and love and faith, and to stand clear in that from a place of compassion and self-responsibility. So I invite you to stand in this vibration with me. I also want to offer that if you are in need of support, if you do experience anxiety and fear and depression during times like this, social distancing might not be the best for you. This might be time where you make sure that you seek support. And with all of online businesses and coaches these days, I mean, I work from home. All of my coaching, even with people locally, is done online. It's easy to have support. I'm offering support at this time. I've opened up a couple of extra appointment times. I'm offering Divine Healing, which is a frequency healing session where we uncover hidden subconscious ego agendas around fears and blocks, which can show up based on the experience that you're having. If you're feeling overwhelmed with anxiety or fear or stuck, uncertainty or lack of trust, I invite you to seek support. You can seek support through our Facebook community. I welcome you to join us, the Holistic Healthy Lifestyle Community. I have a background in functional medicine, health coaching, herbal wellness, detoxification, yoga, meditation, somatic breathwork, divine healing, and energy healing. It's a great place to get resources. I'm there to answer your questions, to support you, as well as other people in the community. So we invite you to come there or find someone or somewhere to seek support and stay connected and be in that oneness, be in the oneness of love rather than the oneness of fear. Next week, I will be hosting Kate Northrup on the podcast. I'm so excited to share her with you. She was one of my favorite people to record with and spend time with, and her message is so appropriate right now, the author of the book, Do Less. So make sure you come back and join me next week, sending light and love and healing to you all. Aloha. Hello, friends, and thank you so much for joining me today and being a part of this community. I know there are many other podcasts that you could be tuning into, and I am deeply honored that you chose to listen in and be present with me today. I love and cherish and appreciate you, and I want to invite you to join our tribe and Facebook group under jenmons.com/connect. I would also love to gift you your guide to discovering and overcoming the self-limiting beliefs standing in the way of you living in optimal health, more energy, fulfillment, and self-confidence to create an embodied, healthy, whole you. You can find this at jenmons.com/tribe. I also have one small request to help spread the love. In order for this podcast to show up in the feed of social media platforms of other like-minded people, we need reviews. So please head on over to jenmons.com/podcast to leave a review. You will also find other inspiring episodes on that page. So I personally read these reviews weekly and would love to give you a shout out and share your kind words with our listeners. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Jen Mons or The Holistic Coach with the W Holistic and Jen Mons, JenMons.com. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Aloha.